Gotta die sometime.
She deserved to be nerfed.
Oh, hush. All right.
Well, she did.
Well, I guess
Well, we
you'll
got
have to-
quarterfinals already out of the way. We're getting through to semis next. What a great weekend of games we had. Welcome to the 4th episode of the Super Mega Death Podcast. I am Emperor, and that is Chulix. How are you doing today? I noticed your mask. It's great. It's festive.
No, we are out of this world. I'm a little alien. Just come on. These games have been just a back and forth extravaganza. Like, I've been so hyped this whole entire couple of days now watching the games.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday were the snoozers. Saturday, Sunday were the pop-offs. And we're gonna break down each series individually. I think we don't waste any more time. We had first game was Thursday, and we had JDG with a 3-0 over
the clean
Rogue.
sweep.
And I can't really say that we're surprised. Are you surprised?
No, I was not surprised. Rogue kind of tanked it throughout all the picks. Like, the picks were just horrendous.
Yeah, Rogue's drafts were
awful. Awful drafts.
I know there was one draft in particular, and it was they were first picking Otoamne Maokai, which is fine, but then 369's like, okay, I'm just gonna play Ornn. So you think, okay, it's a tank versus tank matchup. They're gonna go even. But we had solo kill. Ornn solo kills on Maokai, just gapped him in lane and ended up doing top damage in the game.
Yeah,
But it was so crazy because they were just unable to get any sort of momentum, Rogue. And then Kanavi just absolutely mind gapping Malrang. Malrang literally, I don't know if, did you watch the game, right?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see Malrang's ults on Lee Sin and then he misses the Q behind it that's supposed to be a guaranteed hit?
I was completely out of my mind every time I was watching the game. I think the part where I stopped watching was game 2. I was just like, yeah, no, done.
Yeah,
I gave up at game 2, and I was like, yeah, you guys have gotten swept.
Yeah, Rogue's big win condition was comp. He's pretty much been a hard carry for a lot of their games. They really shut him down. Hope kind of gapped him a bit, but the only person from Rogue who even seemed to slightly show up was Larson. The game 3 LeBlanc, he's known for the control mage player, the passive player, wait for team fights. But he picks LeBlanc. He went 5-1-0 at the end. He really didn't do too he did great, but the team just kind of behind him.
Yeah, they kind of.
But it was cool to see Larson, who was so known to be a one style player, be able to break out LeBlanc in a moment like that on a stage like that.
That was JDD is gonna be a big competition.
Yeah.
For T1 this coming Saturday, and it happened again.
Before we got on, I was gonna turn it off, and then I forgot about it. So.
But I think I was very impressed with 369's play. It was out of this world. It was a really good game. He dominated the top lane in all 3 games.
He did 24% of his team's damage.
Yeah.
As a top laner, playing tanks. That's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
No, 3-6. Otoamne just looked so completely lost in all 3 games. Playing from the back foot. Game 2, it was a little bit closer, but it's laying kingdom up there. And as somebody who has played a lot of years of top lane, you're recently getting into top lane. When you fall behind in that lane, your game's just done.
Big time.
They have to be real big fans of baseball and just throw the game so hard that you get back into it. Or hopefully, you're sitting there you're on a tank, you're crying because it's lane phase and you keep getting camped, you're 0-5 and all you can think is, I just gotta stay alive enough to be frontline. As your mental's just slowly deteriorating.
Dude, it was it was EU's last hope.
Yeah, so not only was it you're down 0-2, to one of the tournament favorites, but you're the last hope, not just for Europe, but for the West in general. All three NA teams were gone. The other two EU teams were gone. You know, all you had left was Rogue, and they did great getting to that point, but the stage and the lights, I think, just became a little bit too big for them.
Yeah, it was a very, very big gap after a while. But it was a good game. It was a good first game to see a clean sweep. Because we all know the next game that's coming up, I didn't even think it was going to be a sweep like that.
I think we were both, if I remember, I don't have my paper with me, but oh, yes, I do. Aha! Yes, I think, yes, we were actually both on the same line with the next series, which was T1 taking on China's RNG. We and you both predicted a 3-2 victory. And, you know, T1 being very gracious says, don't worry, guys. I know it's Friday night. I know you're busy. You got plans. We're just going to hit them with a boom, boom, boom 3-0. And we'll bid you a good night. That was...
Yeah, they didn't come to play. They kind of came in and they're like, yeah, we're going to sweep this team up. We're done. We're done playing games. And T1 took it home 3-0.
Yeah, like RNG's big, like, win condition, and I think I touched on it last time, was you have to get Gala going. Gala can be a 1v9 player, but you have to put him in the position. You have to give him the resources. And T1's just like, no. And I even said, when we were doing the talk about it last week, if T1 can play the same style that Gen G did when they took out RNG on the last 2 days of groups, or the last 2 matches in groups, then T1 will take the series, and that's exactly what they did. Also, Owner
on Graves was the most disgusting thing ever.
Pop off. What is with these LCK junglers being so good on Graves?
I don't know. It's actually a pretty big thing, because as we talk more about the other games, you'll see that there's a trend with Graves. Like, Graves is coming back as a jungler.
Yeah,
or Graves. More like Graves is back.
Honestly. Yeah, because I remember, like, for a bit there, Graves, you know, was testing the waters in the solo lanes for a little bit. We were seeing that top lane Graves. I was inting hard and losing LP on mid lane Graves. But now we're getting him, you know, he's back as a prominent pick in his intended position. Because for those of you who have not played League of Legends in recently within the last couple of years you've been playing, prior to these Graves changes, Graves was an AD carry and he was absolutely filthy strong. And then Riot's like, you know what, we're going to change things up a little bit and we're going to give you some jungle Graves. And when he's strong, he's strong.
Yeah, he is strong. And I'm currently looking up at the stats of Owner's game 1, and he went trying to see all the items, but they're so tiny. I've never seen this built on an Owner on a Graves, but honestly,
was it I believe it was like the new standard meta rush, which is the Umbral Glaive.
It was Umbral Glaives. There's a Black Cleaver, Maul Marias, Guardian Angels, and I don't think it's this one, but yeah,
is it the Eclipse mythic?
No, it's not the Eclipse.
It's not Eclipse? Not Eclipse. See, look at that. You don't even need a mythic, and you can just hard carry games. Honestly, with the way he played, you could have had 2 items the whole entire game. You could have handicapped him at 2 items, not counting boots, because you have to have boots, and he still would have popped off. Like, he completely gapped. Wei had no... He was on the back foot from minute 1.
It is insane. Like, I'm looking at the damage distribution from Onir to Wei, and dude, it is just a gap. It is a big gap. It is honestly disgusting.
Yeah, like, it's really hard to break down like the last 2 series we've been talking about, because I mean they're 3-0s, so you really can't sit there and be like, oh well, yeah, T1 won, but they got exposed doing this. Like, they really didn't. You know, JDG T1, they played their very standard League of Legends style, and that's how they won. They didn't really show us anything too insane because, you know, with them moving on, their opponents are looking at each other going, well, which happened to be each other, go, you guys gave us nothing to look at. So I have a feeling there will be surprise picks once we start talking about semis, and I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait because we got.
No, I'm looking forward to it too. This is going to be a really good game. JDD versus T1, and that's on Saturday.
Yep.
Ooh, that's going to be a very intense game because that's where me and you are like, you know, against each other, I'm guessing.
Oh, we'll have to see when it comes time for predictions, but yep, we have Saturday's matchup scheduled between JDG and T1. That means on Sunday, there has to be 2 more teams, and there just so happen to have been 2 more quarterfinal games. Saturday's matchup, Gen G. It was Gen G versus Damwon Kia, and all aboard the Gen G hype train. Although I was incredibly impressed that it was a 3-2, because if I'm looking at my paper, I had a 3-1 and you had a 3-2 for Damwon Kia. You were almost right, but
that's the wrong team.
You know, coming from Gen G, who clapped Damwon every time they faced in the spring and summer split, I thought, okay, you know, okay, they'll throw a game, Damwon will win a game, but the fact that Gen G goes out with a 2-0 start, and then Damwon wins the next 2, and you go, oh no. And then Gen G starts smashing game 5, but then Damwon starts winning a couple fights, and you're just like,
it was a very it was very like suspenseful, the games against Gen G versus Damwon Kia. Like I was rooting for Damwon Kia, but it was very back and forth where I don't know, like the trades that they did were I don't know, it was so funny to see them go against each other.
It was, especially in this light with the best of 5, because the adaptations were very fast. Gen G smashes game 1. Gen G smashes game 2. Damwon smashes game 3. Damwon smashes game 4. And then it's like, it was the very last team fight for game 5. Was one of the craziest fights I've ever seen in a game. And I've said this numerous times. This might be my favorite best of 5 series because of how it was just so one-sided. Gen G had everything figured out first 2 games. I'm thinking, okay, for easy 3-0, easy peasy. And then Damwon makes the necessary adjustments to then take 2 games and smash Gen G. Like, yeah. It's so crazy, but there's one game in particular that a lot of people are getting a little bit of a misconception about, and that was game 5. We did have Canyon on Kane that game, and I believe Peanut was on Sejuani, and the Kane was bullying, which much like we've seen before between Canyon and Peanut. Canyon's very, very super aggro early game with invades. Peanut, not necessarily so. Yeah. Peanut was just letting him take jungle camps because Kane was trying to skirmish with the only melee character because he wanted to get the red form transformation. And Peanut's like, I'm not giving you that opportunity to get an early transformation. So Peanut kind of conceded and got jungle gapped early on, but my God, was that 5-head chess, because Kane had a 21-minute transformation.
Yeah.
Like, Peanut got gapped, but Canyon got gapped after that part of the game, you know, and all he had to do, like, Peanut's whole case there was, don't fight the Kane. Do not let him get red orbs. Do not let him get that transformation any early as possible. So, like, knowing like a jungler, you know, your ego kind of comes into play, where you're like, I'm going to skirmish this guy, and I'm going to smite my camp away, you know, I'm going to waste your time, you know, middle finger to you, so... But it was just so cool to see these teams, after getting blown out of the water twice, be so composed for a game 5. It was everything I could have asked for between two of the best LCK teams.
Yeah, no, it was a very good game. Like as you said, like these last 2 games back to back were just very interesting. I honestly did think Damwon was gonna make a good comeback.
They had momentum for game 5. They were about to do the reverse sweep, and it just fell short.
They tanked it for sure.
Imagine you being in your promos, you know, and you win the first 2 games. You just absolutely demolish them, and you're thinking, easy. Oh, this is so easy. And then you lose the next 2. What is your mental like game 5 of promos? Yeah, but it's like you're more focusing on the die part, because that's what's been happening in the last 2 games. Now, if you're 0-2 to start promos, and then you win the next 2, you're riding that momentum. You're like, you know, let's keep this train going. Your spirits are up. You're positive, and then you just fall flat on your face, and doesn't that suck?
So close, but yet so far.
Yeah, and I think a big thing about this series, much like the next series we'll talk about as well, is there's a lot more glaring issues than we saw. The JDG Rogue, you know, JDG was kind of a flawless execution. T1 versus RNG, kind of a flawless execution. This one, you kind of pick up where the weaknesses lie within Gen G, and I think it is, at the moment, it's probably Doran.
Yeah.
He got, on a NAR game, I think he went like 0-7. He just got completely taken out of the game. Now we'll see if that could be.
In game 5, he was NAR. Let's see. Game 1. Let's see.
I think it was game 4 where he just got absolutely shut out.
He was 1 and 2, but
on game 4.
Game 4, he did get shut out though. No, he wasn't. It wasn't game 2. Game 2, he actually thrived.
Oh no! Wait, was it? It was either game 3 or game 4, where he like did nothing.
Oh, it was game 3 when he played the Maokai.
Was that the one where he went like 1-7?
He went 0-3.
Oh, 0-3. Okay, I'm thinking of something completely different.
You're probably thinking about the other games, because I know there was one game where it was just like
it was just an absolute destruction.
It was like a top lane death. It was just that. But everything else, like from game 1 to game 3, yeah, he's been like 1 kill, 3 death, 2 death, until game 3 where he's like 0-3 and 1.
Yeah.
Game 4, he's at 1-2-1 and 1-2-9. Yeah. So game 3 was probably his lowest performing game.
Yeah, look, his stats aren't incredibly impressive, but then again, Gen G does not play towards the top side of the map.
No.
They pretty much play for bot lane.
Yeah.
And then like Gen G's whole style is like, we leave top lane on an island, we let Chovy sit mid and farm, and then we just perma dive bot lane over and over and over again, which if we're seeing this, obviously other teams are seeing this as well, and we're going to see if maybe they can adapt to that style. But yeah, that was a hell of a series.
The only thing I was so mad about was that this Yuumi did not get banned. The Yuumi is what sets the game.
Oh yeah,
honestly, at this point.
Yeah, and much like the next series we're going to be talking about, Yuumi was let through multiple times in this series as well. We had DRX versus the defending world champions Edward Gaming, and it was a 3-2 reverse sweep. My God, this was probably series of the weekend.
I think, yeah, no, this was series. This was the game. This what happened here was 100% the game of the whole, what was it, quarterfinals? No.
Quarters, yep.
Quarterfinals. Oh my God, when I was like, oh crap, Edward Gaming's gonna be winning, Edward Gaming's gonna... What did I choose? I don't even remember who I picked for this game.
I think you went 3-0 EDG. I went 3-1 EDG.
Wow.
But that's the thing, it's like DRX, they were a play-in team. They were not even supposed to make Worlds.
They weren't at all.
And then,
look at them.
Yeah, like they get out of their group, and then it's like, oh, you got sick of the mask.
I did. It was getting hot. I
Yeah.
right here.
Like, and then you think there's no way they're gonna beat the defending world champs. Like, what? This could be easy work, but I was proven wrong, and I will say I am having an absolute. There is something in the water in Korea that is just producing the most insane mid laners.
Stupid insane mid laners.
Zika in 5 games, 23, 9, and 25. He played Orianna. He played Azir, so he played control mages. But then he also busts out Akali and Sylas in 2 games. Gets a quadra kill to end the series.
Did you not see his Sylas? The 10.
Oh my god. All right, we have a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're back now.
I don't know what happened. I think my Discord had an update.
Oh, Discord forcing updates. Quit it. But yeah, we were talking about
Zika's Sylas game. Whew. Game 5, like I was actually really impressed with this game. Like what was I doing? I think I was watching it on my phone and like just like trying to keep up with it, but I think my phone was dying at the same time, so I was just like, no, charge for a bit, do something, take my phone with me. But yeah,
plug your phone in at 2%, pull it off on 8%. That's good enough.
Like, it was a game where it made me go run back and forth to make sure my phone did not die. Like, it was one of those games that just kept me watching it. It just kept me going.
Yeah, and I think this plays much to the same as the Gen G Damwon series. The feeling of momentum, because EDG comes out with a quick, easy 2-0, and then DRX. But well, I'll touch on that in a sec. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you had the 2-0, and then you won the next 2, and you have that momentum for Game 5, much like Damwon had. But Zika says, no, I will carry you all to that finish line if I have to. But before we talk any more about it, how about that inhib respawn for Deft? How tilting could that be? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
He was 1 hit away.
1 hit, I know. And I was like, as an ADC, I was crying internal for that.
It's nuts how we look at, like, 1 hit. Because it's like when you look at, who was it? It was Top Esports and... Who was in their group?
Gam?
I think it might have been Damwon. Yeah, it was the Karthus. Actually, I don't remember. But yeah, like Jackie Love being 1 auto attack away from killing the Nexus. Like regardless of the bug, but like still 1 away. Top could have possibly made quarters. Gen G, or not Gen G. God, too many teams. DRX. Getting that hit on the Nexus could have been that momentum swing early instead of having to go to a Game 5 heart attack.
Game 5 heart attack.
That was absolutely bonkers. The DRX, I think they had about, 12% of pick'ems had them as the favorite to win.
Yeah, I think it was. I could definitely pull that up right now too.
I wonder.
They had. So actually, it was a 26%.
I feel like 90% of that 26%, we're getting way too technical with math right now, but were like auto picks. They just because I know that some people, they got auto picks for their play or for their group stage, and they got like 100 Thieves first place, a couple of EG first place, like just the random picks, but that's hey, power to those 20% for picking that right, because I most certainly did not.
Oh my god, this is so cool. I did not know that there was I just pulled up my my pick'ems, and they're giving out rewards at the end of this.
Yes, they are giving out rewards, and I am currently S tier.
I'm currently A tier.
Oh, You got to make up some of them points.
I know, but I'm close. I'm close. I can taste it.
Well, hopping out of quarterfinals, before we hop to semis, so on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited were you about these quarterfinal matchups?
I was pretty lit. I was like the last two games, Genji versus Damwon Kia, Edward Gaming versus DRX. I think those had me at the edge of my seats, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Like we kind of already knew like Rogue was not going to perform very well. I had T1 3-2, but they proved me wrong and they swept.
They started with a 3 and it says, "How dare you not believe?"
They're like, "You're the conductor. You should believe." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
Yeah, like what conductor is not confident in their own train? It's like imagine being a train conductor and you're driving the train. You got a bunch of passengers on board, and then all of a sudden you just like have a lack of confidence that you could not complete the trip.
But yes.
What kind of conductor was that?
But in all honesty, I think the last two games had me at the edge of my seat just because they were like a back-to-back bloodbath.
Yeah. Thursday, Friday's games. This was me. Saturday, Sunday, I'm like permanent PogChamp face, but
yes, PogChamp.
I'm ready. I'm all about it. But we got coming up this Saturday and this Sunday. Well, this Saturday and this Sunday of us recording this, we have our semi-final matchup Saturday. We get the lone Chinese representative, JD Gaming, taking on T1. And then Sunday, we get Genji versus DRX. 4 teams left. Next week will be 2, and then 2 will be 1. Let's start off with these predictions. We'll start off with Saturday's game. Who's going to win T1 JDG and why?
Oof. All right, here we go. T1 JDG. It's going to be a 3-2 and it's going to be a T1 win. Definitely 100%. I feel like a good matchup is going to be the junglers. I think that's where we're going to see where ganking is going to be at the top of their priority, depending, and I think it's going to be more of a bot lane type of fight. I feel like Zeus might have some few hiccups because like I know one game he was just getting like constantly ganked, but I feel like it's definitely going to be a Guma show, honestly. Like he's been outperforming everybody. If he gets enough of the support, he can be on a killing spree like constantly. So I feel like it's going to be a game. It's going to be like a 3-2 game, but it's going to be on the side of T1 just because Onir is a phenomenal jungler, and if he can focus on getting Gumayusi to start leveling up early, building those items quick, then I think T1's going to win it all the way.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting series because, as you were talking about, Honor needs to get Guma going, and that is a big win condition for T1. You have to get Gumayusi going. He can hard carry your team. What's interesting about this matchup is the fact that JDG is such a clean early game. They are so incredibly talented, and Kanavi can completely influence the map early and just put things out of reach. Also, they're incredible at team fighting. We saw that against Rogue. Again, T1 is not Rogue, completely different levels there. But JDG cannot be messed with when it comes to team fighting. If T1 gets Gumayusi going, it will be a 3-2 T1. However, I don't know if they could get him going the 3 games for the win. So I am actually taking JDG 3-2.
All right, well.
So as you guessed, we are on the opposite side of the coin here.
Yes, we are, and we'll definitely see next week who stands supreme.
We'll have my parade. We'll have to book it. Saturday, I'm gonna be like, hey, next podcast, episode 5, we're gonna be parading. I'm gonna have like, I'm gonna have trumpets going, or I can just make a mouth trumpet like I just did. That was something I never want to do again, so we're not going to. But moving on, Sunday's matchup, our final semifinals, we have DRX taking on the LCK champions.
Dan,
you froze also.
You froze, and it was hilarious. You're like,
no, you froze too. So, much like last week, we're going to be putting up your frozen face.
I guess it's my frozen face this time.
But yeah, taking on the LCK champions, Gen G. I'll start with this one because I'm sure you're going to have a counterpoint to me on this. Gen G, I have a 3-1.
Ooh,
I have it a 3-1 because you take a look at the only thing I can look at with these two teams is what they have given me so far this year. And the only thing that I have seen that in 4 best-of-3 series, Gen G has won every series. In spring, in summer. However, this is going to be a very close 3-1. We have Chovy versus Zika in the mid lane. Ooh. And then you get Ruler versus Deft. Like the bot lane matchup, I do think Ruler is a lot better than Deft, but in mid lane, Chovy versus Zika is going to be great because they both share a lot of similar champion pools. I want to see Akali versus Sylas. I don't want to see no like Orianna and Azir. No. I want assassins from 2 of the most mechanically gifted mid laners in the entire, not just the LCK, but the world. But I do think that Gen G is going to get it done. I do think it's a 3-1.
You know what? I think this is probably the only game that we kind of agree. I think it's definitely going to be a 3-1 as well. I feel like it's all going to come down to the mid lane and the ADCs. Just because Ruler is definitely a top tier ADC as well as Def. Like Def did prove it in, getting the reverse sweep from last for the quarterfinals. But the showdown is definitely going to be Zika versus Chovy. Like, as you said, they do have this similar champion pools, but I really would love to see their Sylas plays like against each other.
It would be funny if like game 3 or like game 5, if it went to game 5 was a blind pick. The fact that like back in LCK in the best of threes, game 1 and 2 were draft, but game 3 was blind. So sometimes you would get the same champions. There was a meme going around like WTF 2 Shens.
Yeah,
because
it was like 2 Zeds, 2 Shens, and things like
2 Shens in top lane. Like, I would love for it to be the same way in like Worlds. Game 5 is a blind pick, and then we just see 2 Sylases. But then again, how would you Sylas all to Sylas?
That's something.
Like, what if somebody? Like, what if Sylas?
Break Riot. You just break the game.
What if Sylas stole, like, let's say for example, an Annie ult, and then the other Sylas used ult on Sylas? Would he get the Annie ult? Would they have 2 Annie? Would there be 2 Tibbers on the same team?
Interesting. You're just breaking Summoner's Rift now.
Yeah, Riot Spaghetti could not handle such strain. So, based on our 2 predictions, you are predicting a LCK Summer Finals and Spring Finals rematch, except on the biggest stage of the World Finals. And then my predictions has JDG taking on Gen G, the Korea #1 versus the China #1. So, Sunday night, we'll find out who is right.
Exactly.
And why it was me. Sure. Oh, the mask is going back on because now we're going to be diving into the patch notes that'll be coming up on November 2nd. It is the final patch before the end of the regular ranked season. It will be on November 2nd. Some of the buffs for the champions we have are Ari, Corki, Malzahar. Thank you, my 3 mid laners I love to play. Xin Zhao and Rumble buffs coming in. And we will also see nerfs to Belveth, Misfortune, and Blitzcrank nerfs. I believe it's for the jungle. And then also the Emperor skin line will drop, and the new League of Legends champion Cassante will be dropping November 3rd. Absolutely terrorizing Summoner's Rift a couple weeks before the end of the ranked season. So, You know, buffs are great. For me personally, nerfs not so much for you, but other than I know you're not very happy.
Never.
But is there anything on the buffs and the nerfs outside of Misfortune that either you're excited about or that strikes you as kind of odd?
I think um the Ari buff is something I used to play Ari a lot, and I wouldn't mind playing going back into the mid lane. That just means I would just have to change, for the weekend. Instead of playing the ADC, play more of the mid lane just because I am also pretty decent with Ari.
Play a fun lane for once.
A fun lane for sure. A solo lane, I should try it out.
Yeah, mid lane's never a solo lane. It's always a party one way or another.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty excited about the Corki buff too as well. This is gonna be such a fun like the return of the pocket pick Corki. I can just see it now. It's gonna be honestly amazing. I'm pretty excited that they decided to nerf Belveth again because
Thank you.
She is horrible.
You know what?
Play again.
Nerf Zeri also just because.
Nerf Zeri.
Like Zeri's already into the ground. Let's just put her even further down. Like, it's been a couple patches since we saw Zeri nerf. She's doing terrible. True. But let's just make her a little bit worse. Let's just delete the champion. Same with Belveth.
I know you're pretty excited about the Malzahar.
Yes, the Malzahar buffs that are coming in. It's mostly just a quality of life change. His E-ticks will now execute minions. And it is fantastic because there is nothing worse than doing a Malzahar E at level 1. And then you see 8 health on a minion, but your dot wears off. And then you go to auto it and you miss because the minion already hit it. So it's a nice quality of life change. Malz is already a pretty decent farmer when it comes to mid-late game. This is just going to help him early game as well, which makes me feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of control mages brought back. So Malzahar can't just poke assassins out, because it's only for minions. It's not for champions. Oh my god, if he had a 25 health execute on champions, good god. You might as well just give us especially with that elder buff on top of that.
I feel like so I don't know if you have noticed, but I don't know if in your games you've been seeing a lot of rises
yes,
being picked now.
Yes, and I love it because I dumpster them all because that champion is terrible.
Dude, I had a Rise that actually
Rise is one of the lowest played champions right now. He is about as low as Aurelion Sol. Yeah, about. I think Rise is probably like the 4th lowest champion.
Yeah, but he used to be so good.
Oh yeah, you just sit him in mid lane or top lane. Top lane you just build tank, just build mana items because passive, excess mana, you get percentage of AP. So not only do you get to be incredibly tanky and never you always do a ridiculous amount of damage. And you're tanky, so yeah. That's definitely something that I wish that they could figure Rise out, but it's Riot, they're spaghetti codes, a champion's such a nightmare. They just need to honestly gut him, rework him all together, and make him a champion that they can easily balance. I know it's easier said than done. He's one of the original champions, but I don't know. That's just what I like to see.
He's due for one of these. I know they're currently working on Aurelion Sol.
Yes, and that's one thing I love about Riot right now. That was supposed to come out by the end of this year. They're not confident in it being and how it is, so they're like, hey, we're not happy with this. We're going to give it to you early next year. I like that. I'd rather them give us something finished later than to give us something now that's terrible.
Yeah.
Like at that point, must just give us the same old Aurelion Sol, but that's just me.
I'm actually pretty excited for the new Aurelion Sol. Making him more like a dragon.
Yeah, I know. You feel like you get rid of those damn stars.
Hide in bush.
You can actually hide in a bush on Aurelion Sol now.
Yeah, definitely.
Hide on bush, Faker. You can play this champion. Good God. Because there's no hide. That was the worst mechanic, or like the worst thing put in that game. Aurelion Sol cannot be inside bushes. Like, what? But coming with this patch, we have the Emperor skin lines. Have you taken a look at those yet at all?
I haven't seen them yet. I'm actually pulling them up right now.
Before I give my initial reaction to it, since I've already seen the skins, I would love to know if your reaction is similar to mine.
I need to pull it up. Give me. Hmm. In. I feel like being judged right now.
Oh, we're glaring at you. Everybody's glaring at you.
Panic. All right, let's see. Okay.
First impression.
It's retro goth, rainbow goth.
You know, retro goth that actually sounds good.
Retro goth.
What do you think? You like? You dislike?
I feel like Lux has too many damn skins.
Okay, very fair assessment. Very fair assessment.
I kind of, I'm looking at the artwork. I kind of like how the Pike looks. Like,
I think Pikes is also a legendary. Like, he's been getting a lot of legendary skins lately.
Dude, honestly, I wish that we would get. I mean, we recently got an MF skin out. It was the bunny skin, whatever that thing was, which was
Bunny Squad or whatever it was, Anima Squad. Or
I feel like this would have been so cool for her.
I particularly do not like the skins at all.
I like only Pike.
I feel like playing it. If you were playing League of Legends and you have like even the slightest bit of a headache, by the time these champions with these skins go across your screen, you're gonna be like full blown migraine. It's just.
This is a retro goth EDM party right here.
EDM, yeah, there you go. I forgot about EDM. Yeah, no, that's 100%. It's
retro goth EDM party right here.
Like, imagine seeing that, like one of those skins up to like Commando Garen or Desert Trooper Garen, one of his super old skins. It would be like, it's like two different games.
I don't know how I feel so much about it now.
Maybe if I see them in game, they'll be like.
Their animations will look pretty cool in game, but I don't.
Can't wait to see the texture bugs that these skins bring too.
My God, I can't wait.
Another thing that's dropping is a new champion. We touched base on it a little bit last week, but Kassante's release date, aka Lil Nas X in League of Legends form, and Super Buff, will be coming out November 3rd. Will be in the shop roughly around 6 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure if you save up your blue essences to grab that champion. And yeah,
he'll be banned in every Summoner's Rift.
He will be, and I will be. One thing I love about the new champs is I love sitting in training tool for like an hour, just doing all this stupid stuff with them. I like it's fun. You find cool interactions and insane busted things that you can do with them.
Definitely. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just ready to ban them at every ranked game now. So.
I feel you. Yeah, we got less than 3 weeks before the end of the ranked season. Are you hitting your end of season goal? And that
no.
I feel like the silence and the mask put on is a definite yes. You are just about there, and you're gonna cross that finish line with time to spare. No, you're giving up.
I don't know. It's just like there's really nothing for me to like go for because like it's
Challenger.
Not like there's not like that's not gonna happen.
All you gotta do is play like 3,000 more games and you'll hit Challenger.
Like the Victoria skin isn't anything of my like cup of tea that I want.
I know, and Riot really hit me with that one. But they're buffing my champion, so it's like they're literally gifting me it. If I don't get it this year, it's my fault for not playing.
Well, you can carry that burden. I will not carry that burden. But in TFT, I am definitely ranking up higher now.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of that. Actually, I have not played TFT in a while.
I'm almost done again with the battle pass.
I think I'm like level 21. Like I got the pass and just like quit playing.
I'm at 30 something, like 34.
Is there anything
I like the little
anything
tactician.
busted right now?
Oof. Lux.
Oh wow, go figure.
Lux mage, like build mage, and she just throws her Q. No, yeah, her Q like 2 times back to back.
That's annoying. It's like her with her ults.
Yeah, and then like if you have like if you just put her in the back line in the corner, and then you just have like a line of bruisers and guardians, forget it. She's not touchable. You have to like build assassins just to get into that back line. And assassins just get like nerfed. So
I got so tilted seeing Lux whenever she was part of Academy, the Academy mages, when she had her actual ult that did so much damage. I can't even imagine playing now because I would just get over the moon tilted. It would not be good.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of cruising right now. Like I just can't deal with it no more. So but I'm still grinding it out.
That's good. Like, what are you going to be doing during the league off season? Whenever the ranked season's over, are you gonna, work on 80 carry? Are you gonna work on your other account where you're just spamming top lane? Or
well, every time I go into the postseason, I tend to play a lot more top, so I try to get more comfortable with top. As of right now, I'm pretty good with Mordekaiser top. I actually want to try out Maokai top. So.
Oh. I like that idea because Maokai is a very good pick. You know, I actually like. It's funny because it's your secret account, yet I'm not added on your secret account.
And you don't add me on your secret accounts either.
I thought I had you on my secret account.
I don't think I have one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Because what better way to learn top laner than somebody who's spent years hating his life playing top lane?
Exactly. I should definitely add your secret account then. But no, I also have a backup for the top lane. And it's just so that I have another champ in the top lane.
Oh, is this a little pocket pick?
A little pocket pick? A little pull out the backpack type of thing?
I'm super tilted and I need some dubs, so I'm going to pull this out of my pocket here.
It'll be the Quinn. Quinn top is like my go-to now if I don't have my champs. Well, I'm going to take over this podcast. As you can see, Emperor has left the building because I told him that I play Quinn top. Another ADC top laner.
Quinn top?
Yes, Quinn top.
Oh, you are a terrible, terrible person if you play 80 carries in the top lane. I went against an Ashe. That's a Malphite. I won, but, top diff. But
well, at least I'm not playing like 8. Quinn is not in the bot lane half the time. She's a top laner. Come on.
I mean, that's true. That's true. It could be worse. You could be,
I could be doing Vayne top.
Vayne top. I think, like, anytime I see Vayne or a Quinn, I'm just like, Gnar. 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 Yeah, because they come in on me. They come in at me, and I'll just proc passive and be like, see ya. Doses. I'll never say that again.
No, don't say that again.
Well, for the sake of saving myself some embarrassment, I feel like we have come to the time where we end the podcast. Is there anything that you would like to add before you are totally wrong on your T1 JDG predictions, or anything you want to say before the next podcast next week?
There are still tickets to get on the T1 train. We take all bandwagoners along this ride. Also, as the end of the rank is coming, please don't be dicks on Summoner's Rift and decide to AFK or tilt any of your teammates. After that, that's it.
All right. Well, if you enjoy sitting in old mediocrity trains, then the T1 train is the perfect for you. But if you wanted to slide into the brand new, updated, sleek, velvet seated Gen G hype train, get a hold of me. I'm your guy. I'll hook you up with only the best of seats. If you want to sit on those old crickety benches, the wheels might fall off. They're all crazy rusted because it's just so damn outdated. You can join her, or you can get with the times and join me on the Genji hype train. She will be joining me on Sunday with that because she picked up the beat DRX. So
I did. But the true game is going to be the JDG versus T1. So
no, that is going to be.
On a board. Choo choo.
You know what? Just for that, we're ending it. So thank you guys for joining us here on the Super Mega Death Podcast. We'll be back next week breaking down the semifinal matchups and giving you a small little look into the finals match. And then we'll be hopefully find some more information on patch 1221. So without further ado, I am Emperor. That is Chulix, and we will see you next week for the Super Mega Death Podcast. Now get out of here.